Is Dylan Raiola gonna live up to the hype? Let's light this candle. Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, the People Show. Checking the pulse of Husker Nation, brought to you by DPS Concrete Construction. Check them out at dpsconstruction.net. All right, if you're like me and you're enjoying Husker sports, more and more each and every year. For Nebraska Wrestling's historic season this year, their highest finish in program history, number 2 in the country. They also had 2 national champions for the first time in over 10 years. Men's basketball winning the Crown Tournament Championship, the only basketball team in history to win the NIT and the Crown Tournament Championship. I'm just saying. Husker softball, number 20 in the country, 28-10 overall, and set this past weekend against our good buddies from Iowa. A school record on Saturday. They beat the Hawkeyes 14-1. That's their 18th run rule game of the season, which is a school record already this year. Just to mention a few sports, also keep your eye on women's bowling. They're rolling, pun intended, women's gymnastics, and more. Just remember, like Yoda said, train you must. But if you're enjoying Husker sports all around, smash that like button. Also, the Carriker Chronicles football camp. We've added another great addition, Zach Wiegert. Outland Trophy winner, national champion, college football Hall of Famer, 12-year NFL vet, and had his number 72 jersey here at Nebraska retired. He's going to be at the Carriker Chronicles football camp this summer as well. Check out all the info at carrikerchronicles.com, along with Amon Green, Eric Crouch, yours truly, and one final coach. It's going to be truly special for the kids. I'm so excited. If I could have gone to something like this when I was a kid, my head might have popped off. And that's the goal. I don't want heads popping off, but it to be truly special for the kids. carrikerchronicles.com to check out, learn more, and or register for the Carriker Chronicles inaugural football camp. Final note of business here, then we'll dive into Dylan Raiola. Living up to the hype or no? Make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. We truly appreciate it. It helps us out here on the show. It makes it so you don't miss any of the content. Helps us with the algorithm, whatever that means, on YouTube. Also, every Carriker Chronicles episode is going out Tuesdays throughout the offseason with any necessary gut reactions as well. All right, will Dylan Raiola live up to the hype? I'm going to go backwards before I go to the present and I guess try to project the future. We'll see what happens there. As a freshman in high school, number 1 recruit in the entire country, number 1 quarterback recruit in the entire country, played at Texas, Arizona, Georgia, high schools, not the universities. All right, everywhere he went, he was the number 1 recruit, number 1 quarterback, and even at the end of his senior season, depending on where you looked, was still a consensus top 10, top 5, top 3 recruit in the entire country. Again, depending on where you looked after his senior year of high school. His senior year of high school in Buford, Georgia, completed 63% of his passes, 34 touchdowns to 1 interception. Let me repeat that. A 34-1 touchdown to interception ratio as a senior. And yes, he threw the deep ball. I'd like to see that come back. It would help if receivers are getting open just a little bit more. Over his high school career, peep these stats. Something I never thought I would say, peep these stats. I get excited. I love doing interviews. They've been fun this offseason, but when I get to do this, I have a lot of fun. All right, over his high school career, 4 years, 88 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. The former 5-star recruit, over 4 years in high school, 8,442 total passing yards as well. All right, now last year, as a true freshman here at the University of Nebraska, he started more games, played more snaps, and threw more passes than any other true freshman quarterback in the entire country. What did we get from him? Pretty much what I expected. Very up, very down. Teenager, true freshman, you never know what you're going to get. So we pretty much got what I expected out of him last season. No matter how highly touted somebody is, you cannot speed up the learning clock. Right? You got to go through the process. Now, you never know where this show is going to go. I didn't think I'd be talking about Derek Jeter today, or Peyton Manning, or some of these other guys that I'm going to talk about here briefly. But I was like, and I'm not saying Dylan is Derek or Peyton, or he is or he isn't. But these guys were highly touted. He's highly touted. We'll see how his story unfolds over time as his offseason and the regular season progress throughout 2025. But Derek Jeter, I just watched a thing on him. That's what prompted this. I'm not a Yankees fan in any way, shape, or form. If you are, I'm sorry for you. Derek Jeter, in 1992, is a Gatorade National High School Player of the Year, USA Today National High School Player of the Year, number 1 guy in the entire country coming out of high school. Number 6 overall pick in the Major League Baseball draft by the Yankees, even though the Astros had the number 1 pick and they wanted to take him. All right, I can spare you the details as to why they didn't. They didn't. Now, Jeter's rookie year in the minors, awful. God freaking awful. Then he turned out to be Derek frickin' Jeter. Okay. Peyton Manning, to this day, holds a record that he has admitted he would like somebody else to break, but to this day holds the record for most INTs in a season by a rookie quarterback in the NFL with 28. So I did a little bit of recon. I'm like, is this the most ever in an NFL season? Not even close, by the way. George Blanda of the Houston Oilers threw 42 interceptions in 1962. Brett Favre, all right, the gunslinger that he was, down the list a ways, but threw 29 interceptions in 2005. Joe Namath is on this list twice for throwing 28 interceptions twice in his NFL legendary career. All right, like I said, you never know what direction one of my shows is going to go. Now, you look at Dylan, and we're going to talk about the guys around him. We're going to talk about the coaches. We're going to talk about Dylan himself. You look at what he has around him. Kentucky's number one wide receiver from a year ago, if you don't know, Dane Key. All right, and Isaiah Hunter from Cal, who led Cal in 3 different receiving categories. You got Ja'Cory Barney, who in my opinion was our best receiver a year ago, and graded out as the number 2 freshman wide receiver in the entire country last year behind Ohio State's Jeremiah Smith. All right, Hardly Gilmore, the other Kentucky receiver, who some coaches were more excited about than even Dane Key or Hunter as transfers, was dismissed from the team. Quickly, what are my thoughts on this? Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. It really doesn't matter how talented you are or not. If you don't buy in, don't know more details than that, don't wish to. Wish him nothing but the best. But the guys who buy in matter more, and the guys who are here now are what matter the most. Demetrius Bell. Remember, this guy was expected some big things out of him a year ago. Unfortunately, got hurt in the spring game. If he's healthy this year, which I believe he's going to be, he's a guy to keep your eye on. Janiran Bonner, a guy to keep your eye on. Matt Rhule has mentioned, if you remember his signing day press conference in December, he flat out mentioned Dawson Merritt, Cortez Mills. He's looking to these guys to play and contribute this season. You got 6'5" Quinn Clark at wide receiver and more. Plenty of guys in that wide receiver room. You got top end guys, you got guys who can battle and compete for playtime, you got depth guys, you got guys that need to step up. Plenty of talented guys. You look at the tight end room. Luke Lindenmeyer appears to be the clear-cut starter right now, but you've got guys like Heinrich Haarberg, who's still the fastest guy on the team, by the way. Carter Nelson. Hopefully he comes back healthy in the fall. Like Heinrich and Carter are 2 guys that are tight ends, yes, but they are chess pieces. You can move them all over the place, do all sorts of different things with them. If you remember, Carter Nelson was put at frickin' running back on a goal line play last year. I hated the play because I hate the goal line leap with the running back in general. But they took a true freshman tight end and said, on the goal line, you're going to go to running back and try to jump over the top because he's that athletic. Okay, so these are chess pieces. I'm curious to see what Holgorsen's going to do. And don't forget, this guy's been kind of forgotten about, but Mark McWay, all right, came from LSU. When he came out of high school, one of the top recruits in the entire country, the number 3 tight end in the entire country, had a season-ending surgery. He's back, and he's in the fold and mix at tight end as well. You look at running back, you got Emmett Johnson. The coaches love Quentin Ives. Okay, Mekhi Nelson. Matt Rhule called him dynamically fast. There's 2 potentially dangerous freshmen running back. I'm going to talk about a lot of these positions. I'm going topical right now. These are Dylan's weapons, okay? All right, I'm going to go more in depth throughout these positions throughout the offseason as well. All right, you look at the offensive line. Matt Rhule said, and I quote, they've been one of the highlights of the spring so far. And, quote, will Dylan Raiola live up to the hype? All right, we're going to dive more into that. Before I do, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, DPS Concrete Construction. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not just lip service. It's not just words. All right, let me look into the camera. DPS Construction is really, really good at what they frickin' do. Retaining walls, concrete work. All right, check them out at dpsconstruction.net. If this is your line of work that you do and you're looking for a great boss, a great employer, a great company to work for, go to dpsconstruction.net, ask for Jason Armstrong, and tell him that Adam Carriker sent you. Also, our new partners on this show. All right, I want to give a shout out to Husker Auto Group. Check them out at huskerautomotive.com. Quick update. Husker Auto Group Blitz package is on. Come visit Husker GMC Business Elite for your small business commercial fleet vehicle needs. Husker Auto Group has the vehicle that you need. Half tons, 3/4 tons, 1 tons, medium duty trucks to choose from. As always, Husker GMC offers the complete Blitz package, located conveniently off I-80 and North 27th Street here in Lincoln. Again, that's huskerautomotive.com. You can ask for Steve or Brian. Tell them Adam sent you. All right, Dylan Raiola, the man himself. Let's go back to last year. His first 6 games, and I've talked about this before, but I'm going to go through it again really quickly. The first 6 games, we were 5-1, going into that bye week, going into the Indiana game. Indiana still hasn't stopped scoring. It's crazy. Sorry, bad joke. It's a long offseason, ladies and gentlemen. Going into that first bye week after 6 games, when we were 5-1, he had 9 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. That's a 3-to-1 ratio as a true freshman, 19-year-old quarterback. That's pretty good. Finished the season with 2,819 pass yards, 13 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. All right, a QBR 63.8. That means in the last 7 games of the year, the last half of the season, he had a 1-to-2 touchdown to interception ratio through 4 touchdown passes through 8 INTs. All right. Now, there were several times last year where I questioned the coaching quite a bit. Other teams started to heat Dylan up. Other teams started to adjust. They started to do things differently. I'll be honest with you. They made adjustments, and I didn't feel like we did. And I felt like our young, talented quarterback regressed instead of progressing, or even, no, you don't stay the same, by the way. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. That's just how competitive sports work. I felt like he was regressing. All right. Now, the coaching last year. Was it Satterfield? Was it Rhule? Was it Glenn Thomas? Etc. One of the reasons I have more confidence in Raiola this year is because of Dana Holgorsen. His history, track record, and what we saw him do in a short time last year with the offense and with Dylan Raiola is key as well. By the way, there's a bunch of these already on the ground. There were 15. Somebody gave me a whole Michael and Sherry gave me a whole packet of these for a Christmas present. One of the best Christmas presents and most thoughtful Christmas presents I've ever gotten. There were 15 of these filled to the brim. But I think we're about halfway through the show, a little bit more. All right. What's around Dylan Raiola this year, talent-wise, is key. Ironically, outside of Dylan himself, it may be his uncle Donovan, our O-line coach, who may play as big a role as anyone in his success outside of Dylan himself because he's the O-line coach. And if the offensive line doesn't block, or if they do block, will impact Dylan almost as much as anything. And obviously, I want the O-line to play well. The single biggest factor in all of this, though, is Dylan Raiola. Okay? This does not bother me as long as we win games. Winning games cures 99% of everything. But let's be real. Dylan Raiola loves the spotlight. Now, he's had other players join him throughout this offseason. I'll just be blunt. I've had other former players who don't like this. They don't like it. There was one player I interviewed. He said it live on the show here a couple of months ago. But a lot of guys will message me or tell me or whatever. I have no problem saying my opinion publicly. He loves the spotlight. I mean, I think that's inarguable and undeniable. Whether it's going to high school basketball games, Lincoln Stars hockey games, volleyball games, Husker basketball games, going to the Crown tournament, sitting with the AD in that nice little plush area. All right. How do I feel about this? As long as you win games, I'm fine with it. I've played with quarterbacks, Zach Taylor, guys in the league who are very quiet, very much to themselves, not that vocal, not that out there. I played with some of the most flamboyant players, especially in the NFL, that you could ever imagine. Never cared. All I cared about was, are you going to help us win football games? And are you going to bust your butt and don't cause problems off the field? That's all I ever cared about. It's no different with Dylan. If this is what he likes, my only hesitation right now is we haven't even come close to reaching major goals yet. That's the only thing that gives me hesitation. But if we go out and win games in the fall, just win games. If you represent this university with class, you're busting your butt and you win games. If that's part of the package that's Dylan Raiola, I'm cool with that. But let's win games. That's a huge part of the package. All right, just win games. Now, you also hear things like, hey, he's in there at 6 a.m. all the time doing workouts. Hey, love to hear that. Holgorsen, Dylan has the highest intellect of any quarterback he's ever been around. Now, he didn't explain, is this for his age or period? Because Dylan's very young, and he's coached first-round quarterbacks, he's coached NFL quarterbacks, he's coached record-setting quarterbacks, Heisman finalists, and I'm like, that's a bold statement. So I don't know if you meant for his age or overall, but it's something you've heard ever since Dylan was young, that he has a high intellect. You don't get that without studying. So he's working out at 6 a.m. He's studying the game, he's studying the playbook. Hey, love to hear all those things, okay? And Holgorsen's even like, I'll start to call the play and he'll finish the play call for me. I've said before, I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. He does more pre-recruiting than any Nebraska football player I've ever seen. You talk about guys who are in on transfer portal visits, they're like, Dylan was the one talking to me. He was the one that met me, when I got to the stadium and the facility. He was the one texting me. Jalen Gromstad's talking about Dylan was texting him over Christmas break. Like, Dylan does as much or more peer recruiting than any Nebraska football player I've ever seen anyways. All right, he's also lost 9 to 10 pounds. He needed to lose some weight. Okay, it's no big deal. He's a young guy. Getting better in the strength conditioning program is a natural part of it. I needed to put on weight. Holy Moses Malone, I needed to put on weight. He needed to lose some. That's cool. He's lost 9 to 10 pounds. He looks slimmer. All right. By the way, I'm not trying to knock anybody on their keister anymore. I've actually lost some weight. So, since last summer. If you're going to love the spotlight, you better love the grind and just win games. All right. Now, maybe Matt Rhule's year 3 jump instills more confidence in some people when it comes to Dylan Raiola and his performance. Maybe some of Matt Rhule's offseason comments. Maybe they're just Kool-Aid to some people. Maybe it's an offseason national championship to some people. Hey, we need something to look forward to in the offseason. Let's be real. We all want to drink the Kool-Aid. All right. Maybe they make you feel better. Maybe they don't. Here's a couple. And I quote, "I expect us to be good." End quote. That's Matt Rhule. Last Saturday. And I quote, "We're where I wanted us to be." End quote. Recent quote from Matt Rhule as well. Maybe that instills more confidence in you. Maybe that doesn't. It's better than him going up there and saying, "Gosh, we really suck. We're just not going to be." I mean, how? He's not going to say that. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to Dylan Raiola, though. He all these factors around him. Football is the ultimate team game. That's why I bring these things up. But at the end of the day, it comes down to Dylan Raiola. If Dylan is going to live up to the hype, it's up to him. Personally, I like the way things are trending. It's hard not to. I still have to see it play out on the field, though. As much as I like the coaching changes and the guys that we brought in and the talent and the skill positions, I still have question marks. I still have question marks that I'm going to get to on the defense, on the offense, throughout this offseason. But it's hard not to personally like what I've seen so far. I still have to see it on the field in the fall. That's where I'm at. I just want to see it so bad. Let's go! I just want to see it so bad. All right, Nebraska basketball, ladies and gentlemen. I mentioned it before. The only team to win the NIT tournament and the Crown Tournament Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to have fun with it. By the way, how'd they finish the regular season? They either lost 4 or 5 in a row, didn't make the Big Ten tournament, one of only 3 teams out of 18. And some people are like, oh, way to celebrate mediocrity. Well, you know what? They won 4 straight games, and they had 2 major comebacks in those 4 straight wins. This matters to me. Is it like winning the NCAA tournament championship? No, it is not. Let's not get crazy here. All right. But it is absolutely worth talking about and something we're celebrating, all right? And Bryce Williams, Nebraska basketball's all-time leading single-season scoring record holder now as well. Nebraska basketball in the Scott Frost Showdown beats UCF 77-66 to win the Crown Tournament Championship. Juwan Gary, Bryce Williams, 2 of the 5 players named to the all-tournament team, and Juwan Gary was named the MVP of the tournament. Nebraska wins the first ever Crown basketball tournament championship and finishes the season with a 21-14 record. That's 2 touchdowns to 1 if you're keeping track at home. All right, Nebraska's 21 wins this season ties for 7th in Nebraska's single-season history. This marks Nebraska's 2nd postseason event title, including the 1996 NIT. Nebraska is now 28-26 all-time in the postseason games, including 2-0 all-time in title games. That's being clutched, ladies and gentlemen. Bryce Williams, I had 21. Connor Season had 21. Juwan Gary had 20. All finished with 20 or more points. The first time Nebraska had 3 20-point scorers since Nebraska had 3 20-point scorers at Iowa on March 10th, 2019, 6 years ago. Nebraska overcame a 2-touchdown, 14-point second-half deficit. The 4th time Nebraska has overcome a double-digit deficit this season. It is Nebraska's 2nd double-figure comeback of the college basketball Crown Tournament. They were down by 11 versus Arizona State. Juwan Gary finishes with 510 points this season and ends his Husker career with 996 points in Nebraska and 1,299 points in his college career. Bryce Williams became Nebraska's single-season scoring leader with 713 points after his 21-point performance on Sunday. Williams passed Dave Hoppen, who played 84-85 with 704 points, and James Palmer Jr., who had 708, 2018, and 19 was his last year. Williams finished the season averaging 20.4 points per game, the most by a Husker since Tyronn Lue in 1997. Today marked Williams' 20th game with at least 20 points. He finishes 1 shy of Dave Hoppen's school record of 21. Williams finished with 1,168 points in Nebraska to finish 22nd on Nebraska's career list in just 2 seasons. His 16.9 points per game in 2 seasons at Nebraska ties Stu Lance for 7th in career scoring average. Connor Essegian played well in the Crown. Bodes well for next year. He's back for Husker basketball. Posted his 5th 20-point game of the season and 7th of his career with 21 points off the bench. Essegian had 78 three-pointers, moving past Keisei Tominaga, who had 76 in 2023 to 2024 for 8th place on Nebraska's three-point list. Nebraska held UCF to 39.7% shooting, throw the bones, baby, and is now 14-2 this year when holding an opponent under 40% shooting. All right, here are my questions for you fine folks at home. These questions, the fan questions of the day, are brought to you by our good friends at Husker Auto Group. Check them out at huskerautomotive.com, also carrikerchronicles.com. We're doing stuff year-round. We got softball coverage, baseball coverage, basketball coverage, football off-season coverage. It never stops. carrikerchronicles.com. Here are my questions. Let me know your answers in the comments below. Number 1, will Dylan Raiola live up to the hype? Yes or no? For me, I want to win games this year because of Dylan Raiola, not in spite of Dylan Raiola. That's not a shot, by the way, to be clear. All right. 2, what's the biggest factor to Dylan Raiola having a successful season this year as a quarterback? I know it's a team game. This show specifically about Dylan. Let me know your thoughts. Is it coaching? Is it the position guys around him? Is it the offensive line? What do you think? I made it clear what I think the biggest factor is. Number 3, I don't want to say this is a silly question, but I've been asked this a lot, so I'm going to pose it to you fine folks at home. Here it is. Would you rather win the NIT tournament and Crown Tournament championships or an NCAA tournament game? Let me know your answer in the comments below. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been real. Until next time, go Big Red. And always remember to throw the ball.